thank Simona for this wonderful project. The story I'm going to tell you is called The Little Gray Parrot. Once, long ago, the Buddha was born as a little gray parrot. She lived in a beautiful green forest, surrounded by animals and plants and creatures and trees. They filled her heart. They were all her friends. Every day, she would go to a different tree and rest on its branch and take in its beauty. One day, a storm came raging through her beautiful forest. Lightning flashed, thunder crashed, and the animals, terrified, began to run in every direction. Sparks flew, and a tree in the center of the forest was struck by lightning, a dead tree, and it went ablaze. And the sparks were carried with the wind throughout the forest, and each tree was on fire. The animals didn't know what to do. The little parrot, she flew above and she said, "Fire, quickly, run to the river, run quickly to the river." And she began to fly that way. But when she looked down, she saw that her animal friends and creatures, they were surrounded by a wall of fire. They could not escape. What to do? What to do? And then an idea came to her, a desperate idea. She darted to the river. She dipped her wings into that cool water, and then she flew back to the center of the forest, and she let her wings tumble, and the water fell like jewels and vanished with a quiet sss. Then she flew back once more. This time she found a little green leaf, and she put that in her beak. She filled it with water, and she dipped her wings again into that cool water. And then she flew back to the center of the forest and dropped those few little bits of water, and the water from the leaf, it made a sound as it vanished. She did not stop. Back and forth she went, from the forest to the river, and the river to the forest, and the river to the forest, and the forest to the river, each time filling her wings, each time coming back to help her friends and to help the trees and the creatures. Meanwhile, high above in the sky, a group of devas, gods of a happy realm, were passing by in their golden cloud palaces. They were eating and drinking, eating golden food, drinking from amber glasses. One of them happened to look down and noticed the little gray parrot and laughed. Oh, 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 oh. Look, look, look below. There's a little parrot who thinks she can put out a raging forest fire, she herself alone. The others laughed as well, and they went back to eating and drinking. But one god, strangely moved, looked down and he thought, no. I'll go below and see this myself. And he turned himself into a great eagle and he flew down. Little parrot, what are you doing? You must save yourself. Don't you see this is hopeless? You cannot put out a fire all by yourself. Great eagle, I do not need your advice. What I need is help. And having said that, the little parrot turned away and flew back to the forest. The eagle was about to return to his realm in the sky when something inside him shifted. Something inside him moved. He wished that he were brave, like that little parrot. Suddenly he wanted to feel that love that she had for her friends. He wanted to be brave. And great tears formed in his eyes. He began to weep. And as the tears fell to the ground, wherever they fell, they put out the fire. They put out the smoke. And the little parrot, her feet that had been scorched by the fire, her feathers that had been blackened and charred, when those tears fell upon her, they were no longer that way. In fact, they began to glisten. The animals below, the creatures below, the trees and the plants, they too, wherever those tears fell, they were restored. And out of those glowing embers in the earth, new shoots began to come up, and blossoms opened, flowers bloomed, and everywhere there was new life. Oh, when the little parrot looked down and saw that her friends, all the animals and the creatures and the plants, they were all right. Not only were they safe, but they were restored. Oh, she was so happy. She began to dart and to just dance in the sky. The animals looked up and they saw her and they thanked that little parrot. And they thanked the glorious tears and rain that had fallen unexpectedly from the sky, miraculously restoring everything. And when the little parrot looked down on her wings, she noticed that they were no longer gray. They were turning to that green of the forest. and her breast was red, and her head was blue. Ah, she thought, what fun indeed. Ah. And she too thanked the glorious rain and that eagle who had come to join her. And I thank you for listening. I'd like to mention that I heard this story from a wonderful storyteller by the name of Rafe Martin, R-A-F-E. And there's a beautiful picture book that he wrote the words to, and Demi, the lovely artist, did the artwork for. It is called The Brave Little Parrot. Rafe Martin and Demi. And there's also a version in the Hungry Tigress Buddhist Myths Legends, Jataka Tales, in here. Thank you again. Bye-bye. Bye from New York.